Hey fam, and welcome to the Happily Ever Active podcast, where Disney magic meets health and wellness. I'm Stephen Kabibi, your friendly personal healthcare companion, and I help travelers like you physically prep for your next vacation so you can walk more, enjoy longer days, and make magical memories without burnout. On this episode, I sat down with three of my close friends to discuss what you can expect when you visit Universal's Epic Universe. Now, this is going to be a lot different from other podcasts talking about Epic Universe because we're going to be talking about things like how large Epic Universe is compared to the Disney World parks and how that affects how much you can expect to walk there. We'll also talk about how Epic Universe can potentially make you feel, especially during the summer months here in Orlando, and much, much more. And if you don't already know, Disney DPT is now Fit for the Magic. You'll get the same great content to help you stay pain-free on your next trip, just under a fun new name. You can find me at fitforthemagic.com and on Instagram at fit.forthemagic. Find everything, including my pocketbook guide, Disney Ready Your Pain-Free Park Survival Guide, over at fitforthemagic.com. And if you learned something useful on this show, please share the show and tell a friend. Okay, here we go. So I have the pleasure to have three really good friends tag along to Disney's Beach Club Resort. I haven't had the pleasure to walk through Universal's Epic Universe just yet, but the three of you have, which is really cool. Really excited to sit down and talk to the three of them about how that whole park is, what to expect, especially with how physically demanding the park may be. So without further ado, we're going to introduce my friends and coworkers, Nate, Jamie, and Rachel.
Hello.
So before we get started with the conversation, I think we should start with a little icebreaker.
Okay.
So we're all pretty good Disney fans here. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk, I got three questions to ask. We'll just kind of do a little lightning round and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we're all here at Disney World Resort. So what is your favorite Disney World theme park?
Theme park?
Theme park, yep. Yeah, let's start with Rachel.
I think mine right now is Epcot. I like going to all the different places all around the World Showcase. I'm in the World Showcase Walking Club. So yeah, I love doing that. Love seeing all the neat things, especially coming to all the festivals and doing those things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love
That's a
a
thing.
great
I've
show.
never heard of that.
Yeah. I got a
Walking
t-shirt.
club.
Should have worn it
Wait.
today.
She'll work.
I'll wear it next time. Yep.
Yep. Jamie?
Hollywood Studios, because, you know, I gotta get on that Tower of Terror.
Classic.
Yeah.
Great version of the ride. I would almost put Tower of Terror at Studios over Tower of Terror. What used to be Tower of Terror at Disney's California
yeah?
Adventure.
I've rode that one. Because they changed it to Guardians, right?
Did change it to Guardians.
Yep.
Yes, which is also really good, but I think that puts it on a very separate, like it's a very different ride now.
For sure. Yeah. I would agree, though. I think the one in Hollywood's better than one at Hollywood Studios here in Florida is better than the one in Los Angeles or Anaheim, whatever.
Nate?
I'm surprised, first of all, that none of us have the same taste, I guess, and or that y'all don't have the best taste. Anyway, so
I know what you're going to say.
What am I gonna say?
I thought you were going to say Animal Kingdom.
You're right, Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom, hands down. Freaking love that place. It's just awesome. I geek out over the animals, horticulture, and of course Festival of Lion King. Everybody loves it. It's like the number one rated show, like always for everyone. It's fantastic. Like I love Animal Kingdom. So everyone go to Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
I feel like Animal Kingdom doesn't get enough love. I love it. It doesn't get enough love.
Yeah.
It needs more.
Should have more.
Okay, next question.
Wait, what about you?
No one said Magic Kingdom.
So if I were to answer right now, I would put Epcot.
Yay!
Oh.
2 points, we win.
Let's jump into the next question because I can give one of the biggest reasons why I love Epcot. So what is your favorite Disney World
attraction?
Oh.
So ride or show or
Are we starting with me?
yeah. Let's go back over.
Mine's actually Everest. I love Everest. I love the backwards part on it.
At Animal Kingdom.
Yep, at Animal Kingdom. Mixed signals here, right?
Jamie.
I already gave my answer away. Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror.
She knew what you were going to ask.
Yeah,
I think
I
that's
already
what it
knew
was.
the question,
Clearly.
so yeah.
Wow.
You know, I like when my brain's still
got
at the
them.
top. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I gave my answer away too. It's probably Festival of Lion King. I love that show. It's a great cry like every time. I don't know how many times I've seen it. It's not going to get me this time. Every time. Every time.
And the singers there are just fantastic.
know.
It's amazing.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
So one of the reasons why I love Epcot so much is because of Living with the Land. I love that attraction so much. Guardians is really good out here, but there's just something about Living with the Land that is classic Disney with its entertainment and its educational aspect of it, hence the name edutainment.
I love it. I love it. I didn't do it at Christmas time. No,
Hydroponics.
Hydroponics, yes. Oh, and yes, of course, during Christmas time.
It's beautiful.
Or during the festival.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, last question, and then we'll get started.
Okay.
Favorite Disney character? Disney character.
I've got mine.
Good, you're first.
Stitch. I love
Stitch.
Stitch. Yes, Lilo and Stitch. I'm
Big
excited
favorite.
for the live action movie coming out. So.
looks good.
I hope it doesn't freak me out, but
It looks
I
good.
love Stitch.
Jamie?
Oh, that's a hard one. Probably Tigger. Yeah. Just,
What's the wonderful thing about Tiggers?
because he jumps around and
Oh, Tiggers are wonderful things.
Yeah. Yeah,
Missed
you got
it.
you on that one.
oh, he did. Next.
Tiggers are great.
Next.
Tiggers are a great character. One of my favorites for sure.
That's a good one too.
Yeah. Mine's Scrooge McDuck. I grew up on DuckTales.
Scrooge.
And
I love Scrooge.
I love him. He's adventuring. He's miserly. I don't know. I love him. And even in the reboot, that was. If you haven't seen the reboot of DuckTales,
I don't know if I have.
oh my gosh! Everyone's got their own personalities. It's fantastic. Definitely recommend it. I love Scrooge McDuck, and I'm glad that there's not a lot of merchandise about Scrooge because then I would buy it. So he's not real big here. So I don't have a lot of things, and it's fantastic because
You hear that?
then I don't
You
have
hear
like
that,
a
Disney?
million items. Yeah,
Scrooge
oh,
McDuck.
yeah. If you
heard
bought
it now.
if you bought everything that's Stitch,
I mean,
You would
I
be
have a
broke.
lot of Stitch stuff.
you would be broke, and you would have to have like
They do a lot of Stitch things.
10
yes.
storage units. Yeah.
We only have 4.
Storage units?
Storage units.
We did at one point.
Stitch. Like, what?
It's actually 4 storage units of the massive Stitch plush.
Right.
That's
right.
it. That is it.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
I would go with. It's hard not to go with Baymax.
Oh yeah.
Baymax or Hiro
I just
from the same movie.
I just watched that movie.
Just for the first time.
Maybe like a month ago.
Wow, really?
Yeah, hadn't seen it before. It was adorable.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was going to be such a tragedy in it at the beginning, and then I was like, oh,
Gets you real fast.
yeah, it did.
It's almost like it's a Pixar movie or
I
something.
know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we get on with the first question and kind of see where this goes?
Yep.
Let's talk big picture first. The 3 of you have had the pleasure of walking through Epic Universe for an entire day, which I'm extremely jealous of, and I probably won't be visiting for the. I don't know what I'm going to be visiting. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, what makes the theme park like Epic Universe physically challenging for the average guest that knows and understands Disney World or even Disneyland in California?
I mean, I think just the mere size of it. It's a pretty big park, but they did like the details and the horticulture and like everything there. You don't realize how much you're walking, like when you're doing it, and then at the end of the day, you're like, "Oh wow, that was actually a lot more than I thought
Yeah.
it was." That's kind of how I felt when I left. But yeah, just I think the size of it. It's not like super hilly or anything like that.
I mean, I feel like it's on par with all the other parks,
Yeah,
really.
for
If you're used to any of the, whether Universal or SeaWorld or
Yeah.
Disney, it's just it's a lot. It's a lot of walking. So you're going to be out there a lot. You're going to be on your feet like the whole day.
Right.
So it's a big place. They got to put a lot of people in there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
And not a ton of shade yet either.
oh, there's like zero shade.
Yeah, because the trees haven't built up. Yeah, so
Like zero.
you're in the sun.
There's a ton of horticulture, but it's all like young.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
A lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
We were in the sun all day.
Got it.
Oh yeah. Wow. Reapply sunscreen.
Since you said size, I went and looked up how big Epic Universe is.
Yeah.
So here's some numbers. I'm excited to hear or see what you guys think once you hear the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so the entirety of Epic Universe, which includes the theme park, the backstaging area, the parking lot, and I think it's got 3 new hotels that are, one's attached to the park and then two are smaller that are a little bit of ways. That's a total of 480 acres, a total, so all that stuff.
Wow.
That means when you break it down, the backstaging area is about 110 acres. The parking lot area is 154 acres. The current theme park as it stands is about 80 acres. And then the amount of land that they have available for the expansion, because I think they're expanding Super Nintendo World, and I want to say they're expanding the Wizarding World area. I think
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
expanding that area. So that leaves about 27 and a half acres of extra land that you guys have technically not walked through.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
So given that number, 80 acres, that's smaller than Magic Kingdom.
Right.
And Magic Kingdom is the second smallest park of the 4 parks here.
Which is kind of crazy
Yeah.
to think about.
But I mean, so let's talk through the numbers.
I don't know.
It seems a lot bigger.
Where'd you get those stats?
So to be fair, I got this. Fact checked. I got this online, and I think the blog post was posted like 6 or 8 months ago or something. So,
Yeah.
but then they included maps with breakdowns and everything. So I think they're pretty accurate.
That's
I want to
pretty-
say.
wow.
Given those numbers, and then also knowing how much you walked that day.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk through that.
I'm still kind of shocked just hearing that it's smaller than Magic Kingdom, but maybe it's because we were going to all these different portals and you're going back and forth between them,
The ping pong.
walking around within each one.
I think
And the
that's-
parking lot was kind of long. We parked at
Okay.
the back, so
The
maybe.
parking lot seemed longer at the end of the day than the beginning.
It always does.
Yep.
It was like the parking lot was set out like Hollywood Studios parking lot
Okay.
almost. And they're going to have like covered solar stuff, but it was a long walk to get to the front, at least where we parked. 'Cause we were at the back.
We were,
I got
So,
a
like-
Rockstar, so I was in preferred parking.
Oh,
This guy. They asked, so they're like, no, we preferred. So yeah.
So I see. So it's not like you're going to Epcot, parking there, and then just straight shot into the park. It's a ways. Or is it kind
It
of
would be a
similar?
straight shot.
it's a
is.
straight shot, but it's a
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a long straight walk.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I think just as you don't realize it, maybe because you're going back and
I
forth.
don't know how much more of the lot there
Wow.
was, but it felt like there was, like 2 lots and they both funnel to the one sidewalk
Yes.
and then you go in.
Right.
I don't know if there was more that I didn't see because
Right.
I was just so excited.
Rachel, you mentioned a lot of walking back and forth. So
Oh, yeah.
I know that the layout of Epic Universe, it's got this like hub and spoke model, a lot like Magic Kingdom, where there's the hub with the statue and then you go into different lands, right? The hub equivalent of Epic Universe is called Celestial Park, right? So the one thing that makes Epic Universe a lot different from, say, Magic Kingdom is Celestial Park. I think the size, this is what I've heard, not 100% confirmed, but Celestial Park is double the size of Main Street USA plus the hub.
Okay.
So
I
when
can
you're
see
thinking
that.
about walking back and forth to different lands, that's a lot of ground to cover
Right.
just at Celestial Park. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for
Getting
sure.
a lot of extra walking in if you're thinking about going from the Wizarding World to Super Nintendo.
Right.
Right?
Yep. One in Celestial Park, it's like this big, it's kind of like a big oval almost with the portals around, but they've got the walkways through. But I know with us, we were pretty much going in a circle and then crossing over and then crossing back. So
okay.
we
Almost
had
like-
no plan.
You almost like World Showcased it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that each little land is like a dead end. So
Right.
if you go to Nintendo World, you see all the Nintendo stuff. It does not connect to the next world.
Right.
You go in, you do all Nintendo, and then you come out.
I
and then you walk, and then
see.
when you have a show, like you have a show over in Wizarding World, there's a show there, and then you're gonna come across, and then you gotta go to the next show, and then you're like, oh, well, I just caught the in the
How to Train Your Dragon.
thank you.
I got
That's
you.
gonna happen. And How to Train Your Dragon. Then there's another show, and so you're ping ponging around, and then well, I didn't finish any of the attractions in either one of these areas because I'm trying to catch the show. So now you have to go back. You come all the way out. You go to Celestial Park, then you go back into the next place.
Gotcha.
So it's not just one and done. You can't see it just by going into one area, seeing everything, and then moving on because shows and stuff like that.
Unlike in Magic Kingdom when you're like in Fantasyland and you're like, hey, let's go ride Haunted Mansion. You head that way.
Yeah.
And then, or hey, let's go ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Yeah.
You can just cut through.
Yeah,
no,
It's not the same.
It's you're going in. It's got its own little
Right.
world.
Out of
and-
the way.
Yep.
Got its own little
Yep.
portal to enter.
Yes, portal.
Okay, noted. So a lot of extra walking. Speaking of numbers, do you all remember how many steps you guys got in the day? And then why don't you tell me like when you arrived and then when you left?
So
Good idea.
I got there around probably at 10 when we were allowed to go in, and we left at 7 p.m. And I think I got around like 20,000 steps.
Yeah.
That's probably how many we did.
Yeah, like
We were
18
probably,
to 20,
Okay.
somewhere
Yeah.
around there. Yeah.
And about what is it for? Wow, math. I can't math.
I know.
right now. 7
Is that
plus
9
9
hours?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's a lot.
yeah.
I
Very
got
condensed day.
I got there probably like 9:30, and it was supposed to close at.
It closed at 7,
supposed
but
to
you
close
got
at
in
7.
line.
We got in line for something at like 6:45.
Oh, nice, okay.
And we were in that line till at least 7:30. And so we didn't get out of there till like 8.
Okay.
And it was about 20,000 steps that we
Okay.
did as well. But that was a long line. So lots of standing.
Lots of
Yes.
sta- Yeah, let's talk standing.
Yeah.
Lots of
Not
standing.
a lot of seats there.
No.
Shade
Yeah.
and then like
Okay.
somewhere to sit.
Nope.
I feel like Celestial Park had a lot of benches, but
Okay.
in the portals themselves. You didn't think so?
No, they did not.
Oh,
Celestial Park.
maybe I just missed it. I don't know.
I didn't see much there
Oh.
for sitting, and definitely no shade.
Yeah, there's definitely no shade. But
Woof. Okay. So,
It's beautiful. It's beautiful,
Yeah.
but it's. I mean,
they
it's
just
pretty.
need some
like-
more benches.
and I will say that those pathways are very
Yes.
very large, which is fantastic.
but all over the place.
They're very large pathways, so it allows a lot of people to get through. So I didn't feel like it's crowded. But for those lines, you are going to be doing a lot of
Yeah.
standing.
Yeah.
And no leaning on things, they don't want you leaning on the ropes because they're going to break or
Right.
whatever. So
Yeah.
so they're very much you're standing.
We were in the Donkey Kong, the minecart madness. We were in there for 75 or 80 minutes, and it was
Wow.
jam packed
On a
in
preview
there.
day.
Yeah, it was a long.
But I'll
line.
tell you, they have very good air conditioning
They do.
in the
Okay.
queues.
Good to know.
At
So
least that queue.
Once you get inside, because some of them have an outside
Yes.
portion
Yeah.
where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I wish I was inside.
How big are the outside portions of the queues?
It depends on the attraction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of them have a lot outside. Some of them just a little bit.
Donkey Kong
And I don't think they
has
saw
outside.
all the queue either
I don't think
because
they did either.
they probably didn't put all the stanchions up that they can do.
Right.
On like a peak day, there's probably going to be like, whoa, there's probably like 100
Yeah.
more switchbacks we didn't
Right.
know.
Right.
So
Why don't we go through the lands real quick and just
Yeah.
talk through like rides that you remember, right?
Yeah.
And then talk about queues, outdoor versus indoor, how long you would expect to wait, especially on a busy day.
Right.
Let's kind of just go through that.
Yeah.
When do you want to start?
Super Nintendo World. Fun. That's the one I'm excited.
That was amazing.
Love it.
Yeah,
I love
your
it.
jaw just drops. So you sit there.
Yes,
It's like
that has
whoa.
like the best reveal. I feel like once you go there and you go through the little portal, and
We just stood there for like
Yeah.
5
That's
minutes.
what I
We're
did.
like,
breathtaking.
yeah.
you come in on like the second. It was like the second floor.
Yeah.
And then, but when you come in, you come out to the castle, and then there's like you look out and you can look down to the first floor. You can look across to the second floor, and you can look
Yeah,
up
it's
to
like 3
It's not like a third
story,
floor, but
yeah.
it's like 3 stories.
Everything's moving.
And there was stuff behind you too. And yeah, there's like little Goombas walking back and forth, piranha plants everywhere. I love
Yeah.
them. And then there's little coins are turning. There's like Koopas, and there's question mark block. There was a lot.
The way we're describing it, that's what you feel like when you walk in. You're like, this is
just-
like,
yeah.
whoa.
It
it's
was sensory
overwhelming.
overload for me.
Yeah.
I don't have like
It's
sensory.
overwhelming.
Yeah, it was. I just stood there and I was like, seriously, I'm like, somebody's gonna have to watch me. I'm gonna walk off a cliff or something in here, or down the stairs, and not be, because I was just like paused, and I was like,
What's this? And you're like
Right.
walking before you know you're like,
it was too much. It was too much. Oh, I stopped. I stopped dead. I was that person who was like, I'm gonna tie my shoe in the middle of traffic. You know, like I stopped dead in the middle, and people had to walk around me, and I'm just like, oh.
I mean,
Like,
I'm sure they designed it to be like you literally just step into the video.
That's
what you're
what it's
describing
like.
to me. That's
Oh, it was amazing. Oh, I love.
We had to go over to the
Love.
side and just like take it all in.
Yeah.
Because it was just like,
I probably.
what
should've
did
done
we walk into at this point? Like, it was just,
And the music's blaring like you're in the video game. Like, but not
Too loud.
It's not like horribly loud, but like it's still like,
the right.
whoa. It's like dun 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 dun, dun and you're like, whoa.
that. Yeah. It was so cool.
Have you guys been to Universal Studios Hollywood? And
We
have you
haven't.
been to the Super Nintendo land there? Okay. It's,
went
I mean,
way
it's still
before.
relatively new. Okay, fair enough. I haven't been, so I don't know what it's like to walk into there, and I don't know what the reveal is like. But what I've heard is Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood is much smaller than what's going to be here, or what
I've
is
heard.
here.
Oh, okay.
And I think mainly because there's no Donkey Kong ride.
Right.
I want to say there's only the Super Mario Kart ride.
Oh,
That's
okay.
out there. I
Yeah.
don't know if there's a second one.
Do you have the Yoshi?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Did you do the Yoshi?
We didn't do the Yoshi. We literally just did the Donkey Kong.
yeah.
But we stood in line so long, so we were like, okay, we wanted to see everything.
Yeah.
And it was hard to pack it all in.
I did all of them.
Yeah, Nate did everything.
I went back twice to see.
Well, Lions, let's talk queues real quick. Yoshi's, you did Yoshi's.
He did
You did
Yoshi.
Yoshi's. How was the queue for that? Outdoor versus indoor? How long expecting to
I
wait?
don't think there was any outdoors, all indoor. It's
all indoor, okay,
So,
that's good.
and it was fine. It was covered. There's stuff. There's always entertainment, like in line, thankfully. So yeah, it was all indoors. It was fine. It's a very short ride.
It was slow.
It was very short, very
Just
slow.
watching
You
it.
can
More
see
family friendly.
Yes,
Okay,
you
for
can
all
see
kiddos.
a lot of it from the outside, like watching it. But yes, it's definitely for a younger audience. It's slow, it's easy peasy. So
I think when we saw the wait time, it was like 15 minutes. Like it wasn't like super long, but we were like, we got to jump. We were running over to one of the How to Train Your Dragon shows. So we were like, we're not gonna.
one
wait.
of the mini, yeah.
We did all the mini games.
Got it. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. I mean, you're
Yeah.
going to be staying a lot because of the mini games, right?
Yep. You're moving in those mini games too. Like, you're doing
Punching those blocks.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
because
think
they
my
look
hand
question
was
mark
sore
blocks,
today.
Yeah.
and you got to punch. If you buy a power up band, then
Yeah.
you can like punch the little blocks.
That's cool.
There's a lot of stuff to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a ton of mini games there.
Yeah.
Lots of. Okay.
And they're all physical mini games.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, because like you have to
Yeah.
you have to hit all the little question mark blocks, and then they have one where like a little Goomba, you have to he's like running on a wheel. You have to crank
Yeah.
the wheel, keep cranking the wheel until the Goomba falls off.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole bunch of. And then did you do the Piranha Plant one?
No, that's the one we didn't do. We did
okay.
all the other ones.
They have one where we have to like battle this big piranha plant.
God.
And they recommend it in like groups of like 3 or 4, and you're racing around in this like little area, hitting these little time clocks. And so
we
it works
should've
better if you have a lot of people. No, it was fun. We did like 3 of us were doing it, racing around, and you're doing it. It seems like an inordinate amount of time.
Yeah.
It's probably like 1 minute, but when you're like, like 1 minute's a long time in
Right.
the hot. summer.
Right.
Yeah.
Which it was a beautiful day when we went, but you know, like summertime, it's gonna be.
Yeah, because you guys
Yeah.
went what last weekend?
Yeah, and it was
Right.
beautiful.
And there's the end of March, right?
The wind
The
was
start of
blowing.
spring. Okay.
Yeah.
Versus July, August,
You'll melt.
September.
There will
Okay.
be no.
They got to get some shade.
There will be no.
You melt.
Especially in that, it's
You'll
very
melt.
protected, no?
Yes.
Yeah, there will be no
Okay.
breeze in that one, and then Harry Potter.
Celestial Park, you'll get a breeze. That's open.
Yeah.
But Mario.
I feel like How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah,
It's
Mario
closed.
and
Yeah.
Harry
there's-
Potter.
Yeah.
There's going to be no breeze.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least with the Harry Potter area, there's a lot of buildings that might offer shade.
Yeah.
But
Sure
Celestial
don't.
Park, no shade.
Yeah.
Nintendo, some.
Yeah.
You're not How to Train Your Dragon, no shade.
Dark Universe,
Yeah.
no shade. There's
Yeah.
like little bits, but
Yeah.
every building in there is freezing cold. But that's
Welcome
the
to
thing. We'll
Florida.
get to that, right?
Before we move on to the next land, really quickly, what about Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge?
They-
I did that
we
one.
didn't get to do
Talk me
that.
through the queue real quick. Outdoors versus indoors. How long are you gonna wait?
It's all indoors.
Indoors, okay.
Thank the stars. You're gonna wait a very long time
Yeah,
for that
sure.
one. I mean, I would expect people to wait minimum of an hour.
Okay.
I would say minimum. If you can get in 60 minutes or less, do it. Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's probably gonna be 90 minutes or more. I really do. It was awesome. It was awesome. I don't know if I should talk about it, but it was awesome. Do it. Should I talk about it?
You can. I mean,
Should I talk about it?
I don't see why not.
It's almost like you put on a hat. So you put on like this little visor and you like click it on, and I was dying because it's a Mario hat. It's got a little, it's the red hat with a little M on it. And I was like, Mario! Like it was so good. It was so good. And then so we all have that on. We're having so much fun. And then the queue line. I'm going all over the place. The queue line was very good. I'm going back to the queue line, then I'll get back to the Mario hat. No, the queue line. There's just a lot. If you play Mario Kart. They got trophies, they got everything. Like, if you play Mario Kart, you're gonna love this queue line. It was just, I could have stayed more time in the queue line. Cause it's awesome. Yes. But then you put the little Mario hat on, and then you get into your vehicle, and then everybody, you can shoot your enemies with you get little shells and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so you click on a visor, and it's like a clear seat. I'm thinking like Google Glass or something like. It's like a clear visor. That sucker's heavy, so work your neck muscles out. I'm not kidding. Like I put it on, and I don't have any neck problems or anything, but I was like, I'm like, oh god, like.
I can imagine
It's like pounds.
You're like for example, if you're walking in Epcot, you see a lot of like big backpacks because they're full of stuff because they feel like they need to have enough for a 7-day backpacking trip or a 1-day trip to Epcot. I can imagine anyone wearing that, and then they decide to ride Mario Kart at the end of the day, right? Their shoulders are already tired from wearing all that. Then they're putting a heavy helmet on. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That could be a lot.
I think that it may not. If you have neck problems, it might be a problem.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd be curious. But I think that you could probably still enjoy it because so you have this little visor on and you can see all of the other characters because it's like Mario crew against Bowser and his gang. Like if you're thinking about Ludwig and all the Koopalings and stuff like that. So you're all racing together and you can see them all on your visor.
Yeah.
But you can also look through your visor at all of the realistic elements that are out there, and you're firing by looking at, so you have to like look at them and get them, and you shoot like and aim at the little characters. It's cool. It's just really cool. But that is heavy. That's the very first thing that I said. Like, oh, this sucker's heavy. Like it is. You're just like, and you're like, oh, let me lift my head up. It's heavy. So
Last ride. Let's see, Minecart Madness. I can do that. Let's talk queue line first, and then we can get into the ride.
I would say the queue line, maybe a fourth of it's outside. Because we had to walk through a little bit of the fourth of it. We didn't have to stand in it. Then you went inside, beautiful air conditioning, but you are packed in there.
Okay.
They've got one little thing that you put your power up band to with somebody else, and you have to make a banana on the ceiling. Because her and her brother were going crazy. They were like, do it.
Somebody like 3 rows over to do it at the same time as you. So you got
Interesting.
Yeah, there's like interactive thing like that, and then there's like a animatronic in there. Mainly, it's just getting through all that stuff, and then you get down to it, and the ride is just.
that's cute.
Like the way they have the track design, it looks like you're just gonna fall into nothing. That's how I felt the whole time. I mean, I lost my voice doing it, but I loved it. So
Yeah, the car like jumping off the track.
Yes.
If you played any of the Donkey Kong games with the minecarts, it was just like that.
Yeah.
It was just like that.
It was incredible the way it was laid out.
Yeah.
So super fun. Really short, but super fun.
very short, but hold on to your stuff on that
Almost
because
lost-
they don't have anywhere to put it in the front.
Yeah.
And she almost lost her glasses, and I almost lost the backpack.
I caught him midair.
But there's no inversions or anything like that. There's some fast.
Yeah.
It was just like the drops. It was like my sunglasses flew. I was like,
yeah.
So, other than that,
That's incredible.
yeah.
Why don't we move on to the Wizarding World?
Okay.
Let's talk the Wizarding World.
Yeah.
With Jamie, that you'd mentioned earlier, not much in terms of breeze.
Yeah, the buildings are very tall.
Yeah.
Lots of shade.
Make the scale, right?
Diagon Alley kind of thing,
Yeah.
maybe? Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to that. Is it bigger than Diagon Alley? Is it?
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
I thought it might be smaller.
I think it's
Do you
bigger.
think it's bigger? Look, I'm not good with perception. Y'all know this.
I think it's bigger.
Okay, I'll go with you on that. It's like you're in downtown. If you've ever been to Paris, I know people don't get that luxury all the time, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
downtown Paris.
That's where Fantastic Beasts is set.
Yes,
Right?
yeah, and
It looked like the set.
that's what I thought immediately when I walked in and I saw the metro, and I was like, this is exactly what Paris looks like from the outside. And everybody's got their French accent. And
You did the queue line, right?
we got to
It
view
was
the
closed
queue.
for me, so.
Yeah, it was closed, but let me tell you,
gotta
this
do that.
queue,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 5 to 6 hours of people wait. Like if you are in the queue line from the back, you're going to be waiting 5 to 6
So the
hours.
queue line to
It can hold 5 to 6 hours.
It's the
Is that what they said?
biggest, most expensive queue I think that they built.
I had seen it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is this for the ride? In there?
Harry Potter, yeah. It's
Holy cow!
what's it called?
I don't.
Y'all not remember what it's called?
It was
I was trying to look it up.
I forget the name
They
of it.
haven't.
You're
it's
walking through the metro, and then all of a sudden you go through this poof of smoke and light, and you are
yeah.
just in this huge room, and you're in the Ministry of Magic, I guess is what it is.
There's a queue line?
She's on trial, and they've got all this. I mean,
That's
it's
right. I remember
It's
now.
crazy.
Yeah. So
I've never seen a
another
queue
thing
line.
too,
Shout
where
it
you
out.
had to like, you had to stop and take it in because you're in this small area, and they send you through almost like another portal type of thing, and then you get in, and it's just like this massive room. It's insane.
It's huge.
We just stood in there, and we're like, whoa.
But the amount of walking we just did in the queue line, I'm like, this is crazy.
Wow.
Like if you were, I just kept telling them, I was like, I'd never stand in a line this long. Because yeah, I'm sure if you're a Harry Potter like fanatic, you're gonna want to do it. I want to do the ride, but I'm not gonna stand there and wait 5 or 6 hours.
So I have to ask,
Yes.
are there bathroom stops or water breaks all on the way?
know? Very
good
Or any
question.
benches? Like, is there any of that?
No.
Like, do you think there's any? So,
There's one spot to sit.
Yeah, there was.
is it an
one
official
spot.
spot, or is it like, oh, this is a low rock? I can kind of
No, it was official because there's like a fountain in there, and they
a
built.
fountain you
in-
can drink out of?
No,
Oh.
Like a fountain.
yeah.
Or was it a fountain or was it
Drink
just a
at your own
statue?
risk.
I don't know. It was so big, but you could sit around like it was a circle bench is what it was.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't remember seeing any water, any bathrooms.
just in the queue alone.
Yeah,
you're talking about.
yeah.
Is the queue as big, smaller, or bigger than the queue for Flight of Passage at
Bigger,
Animal Kingdom?
way bigger,
Bigger.
way bigger.
And we all know how big
Yeah.
the Flight of Passage queue is.
It was like overwhelmingly big. We just kept going, and I was like, "This is insane."
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
how big this is.
So they're anticipating, like you said,
Yeah.
very long waits.
Yeah.
So that's your day.
So
Yeah, you've spent your day.
it's so detailed though. So
Yeah.
It is.
no matter if you're standing in there for each room for an hour, there's always going to be something to look at,
Do you
something new.
remember if there were the wand, like interactive stuff in there? I can't remember if it was just outside or in the queue line too.
I think there might have been one thing in there that was interactive.
Okay. I felt like they probably
like
could have
halfway
had some more
through.
stuff in there, especially
Yeah.
if you're going to wait that long.
Oh, for sure. Otherwise, you're just going to be.
You're just standing and looking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And some of it's like you're just standing and it's like green tiles on the wall, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
What land do you guys want to talk about next?
I don't care. It's up to you.
Can we do Isle of Burke last?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
We could say the best.
Let's do. So, okay, so we did. Oh well, we did them in order. So we did Nintendo, and then next is Dark Universe.
We
and
didn't
then-
technically do them in order either. We bounced around.
Yes, this is true. This is true. Well, because
just
if you
get excited.
I think as you enter, if you go to the left, it's Nintendo, Dark Universe,
Harry
Potter,
Potter.
and then
Isle of
Isle of Burke.
So let's do Dark Universe.
Let's do Dark Universe. You really like Dark
Yeah,
Universe,
this was the one
right?
I was most excited about because I like the grungy type of stuff.
Can we talk size really quick?
Yes.
How big is Dark Universe when you walk in?
If I had to compare, it wasn't huge. It was like, I'm trying to think of something to compare it to. Maybe like the Pandora, or not even as big.
No.
You don't think it's even as big as that? So,
I was thinking like more
Like half the size.
Tomorrowland, maybe.
you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably it would be right. See, I told y'all my perception's off. Like, I'm not good with that kind of stuff.
It's not that large.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
Okay.
But you walk in, and then all of a sudden there's like fog everywhere, and there's like screaming and like.
We didn't have any of
You
that.
didn't have any of that? Oh, we did when we walked in.
Oh, the joy
I was
preview.
amazed. We walked around the corner, and then you see the big Frankenstein Manor, and it's just huge, and it makes Haunted Mansion look so.
That's all the way in the back.
Yes, that's all the way in the
You
back.
have to walk by like the
You go by the gift shop, the Doss Steakhouse in there, and they serve like steaks on a wood steak. Like it's super
it's
cool.
funny.
The theming's great, and they've got vampires and monster hunters out.
awesome.
And,
And what is their theme? Like what characters?
what do you mean?
Frankenstein.
Yes. All the Universal monsters.
Oh, but classic
They're in
Universal
there.
Monsters. Everyone knows them. Gee.
Go ahead and do
Classic
it.
Universal Monsters. There you go. There's your answer for everyone who doesn't know.
Universal monsters. But unfortunately, when we were there, both of the rides were down. The werewolf and the manor, which I was really sad about.
I've heard really good things.
The manor, they say, is supposed to be the best attraction, what I've heard there.
They're saying the queue line's supposed to be like 60, 65 degrees. Like it's supposed to be cold, like bone chilling when you're in there.
Setting you up.
Yes. So
But they had cool special effects on the outside.
they do.
Yeah.
They do.
I don't know if that happens like every half hour or hourly. I don't know what, but
don't know
there's
either.
a lightning and it was.
Right. Yeah.
I think they were animating Frankenstein in there
Right. Yeah.
every hour.
And then you walk to the back, and there's the Burning Blade Tavern, and it sets fire every like 20 minutes. We got to watch it. It
We
was
did too.
awesome.
We saw it on the hour.
Yeah. And you
And it
go
was
in
neat.
there, and they're like talking to you, like, "Oh, there's werewolves on the loose. Don't say your name." Like it's just the theming was great. Like they played into it so well. So I'm excited to see it at night.
Oh, for sure.
Eventually, and
That'll be
when
cool.
everything's
Fire.
up and
Yeah.
running, I think it's going to be just incredible.
And I'm curious about the coaster because I don't know anything about that
Yeah, I
coaster.
don't either. I
Like-
just know you're running away from the werewolves, or you're turning into a werewolf. I
It
don't
looked
know.
very tight. Like the turns look.
It's a small area,
Yeah.
so it probably.
You're right. It's not
Yeah.
that big at all. Here I am. I'm like,
But I don't know how much goes into like the back.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like what comes into what
Yeah.
we see in the park isn't a lot. But
Right.
that doesn't mean it's not
Yeah.
way back there.
I think from
I don't know about the queue line.
From what I read, it's supposed to be more of like a family-friendly coaster, so not for
sure.
So it's probably gonna be on the smaller
Also,
side.
with the bathrooms and stuff, everything's black in there. The toilets and everything.
Oh, that's weird.
I know, isn't it? It's and the
go in there.
I know. We checked out everyone to see what they were like because the theme.
Wait, no,
go
that's
with it.
smart.
So you have to see, and it's cool in there.
Did you check out the Mario bathroom?
Yes.
I was like, I want to go to my bathroom. Like, it was all this underwater theme of little cheap. I was like, oh my god, it was so cute.
Were the
Wish I could
bathrooms
take
pretty easy to find?
Oh yeah.
There were plenty of them.
And they were open, super open concept. So
Okay.
they'll get people in and out. But yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think I feel like Dark Universe is gonna be my wife's favorite land when
Yeah.
I visit. I'm pretty sure.
They did great on the
I'm
horticulture
with you on
too.
that.
Like, oh yeah.
Dark
Like I was like, what is that tree? That's
Yeah.
so freaky looking. Like I know a lot of plants, but I was like, I don't know what this is. It was cool.
Like I said, at night, I'm most like when I can go back.
Curious what it'll look like at night
I think it's gonna be
with all their dark colors. Like
They're
Yeah.
supposed to have red lights and then the fog going, so it's supposed to be like all red.
Yeah.
Red and dark.
it's gonna be awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yep.
I'm definitely excited.
Yeah.
Any other comments before we move on to Celestial Park?
I don't think so. Not
Okay.
not with that one.
No.
Yeah.
On the smaller side, still not
Yeah.
as much we know about this
Right.
area just yet,
Right.
but really cool theming.
Yes.
So far, what we talked about with Super Nintendo World, with the Wizarding World, and then Dark Universe. In terms of theming, which one do you enjoy the most?
Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that one was awesome.
It was so good.
I mean, you're in the game.
Yeah.
So
Like
good.
you're in
Yeah.
it.
I will say the theming in every single one and the details were absolutely incredible, but Nintendo was like
It was just
over the
overload,
top.
though.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yes.
In a good way. It was just.
Like that's the one. Like I was excited to go in all of them. That's the one part, like portal that I walked in. And I was like, whoa.
That's why I went back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So Celestial Park,
Yes.
right? That's next. We had talked about how lots of horticulture. It's very open. It's nearly twice the size of Main Street USA plus the hub at Magic Kingdom. You said, Rachel, earlier the pathways are kind of winding.
Yeah, like through there. Just
Okay.
I feel like Celestial Park is like a figure eight
yeah, kind of.
because you come in and then there are huge fountains. There's a big fountain and I think there's on the side there's like gift shops.
Yes.
But you come in, there's a restaurant there, and it's like part of like the figure eight, so you can walk around. And then here's like a restaurant, a huge fountain, and then you can go down past this first part to the second part, which is the
Carousel. No, it's not Carousel of Progress. I'm sorry.
I know, there's a carousel.
It's the Constellation Carousel.
That's it.
Wrong part.
Yeah. Did you see that running?
Yes, we watched
see it running.
It was interesting.
It's an open concept. Like
Yes.
it's just like a bunch of animals on the ground.
Yes, and they're
it's
moving
just-
in
it's
all
flat,
different
so you
directions.
could, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like you would be able to bring a wheelchair just right in there.
Yeah.
Like that's what it looked like to me. But does it elevate when it rides?
Yes, and they had a ramp and everything to get on the wheelchair accessible ones. But like you don't have to like step up to get on the carousel because it's a flat floor. It's just got 3 different circles. You get on the whatever you're riding. Like I said, they had the wheelchair accessible ones. So you just use the ramp. But yeah, everything spins and moves to the music. That's what it's going to. It's interesting to like watch it in person.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But they're playing like techno music and you could.
And I love the sounds that
Yeah.
they had though in Celestial Park.
Yes.
Every time I walk by, they were doing something different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's shooting up, now it's spraying out, and I'm like, well, I was always doing something.
Yeah, a big fountain
see the
show.
night.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah. I heard that they are supposed to have a
Eventually,
nighttime
right?
show in there. But then if they have a nighttime show, I'm guessing it's going to be like when you're at the Disney parks, you're just standing and watching the show.
Right.
You know?
Well, they have the seating. It's kind of like arena seating, but with grass around
That's true.
the fountain.
That's
in
true.
front of
They do
the
have that
hotel.
there. That's true.
Yeah. So, because we saw people just sitting there eating some ice cream and just hanging out. It was beautiful.
It'd be nice at night when it's not sun.
Right.
Exposed, right?
It's full sun right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is not much tree cover? Is there? I mean, how much coverage can you get if you want to sit
Less
down
than
and take a photo?
10% of tree coverage, I can tell you that. Like
You're gonna have to go in a building
Yes.
or something.
under an awning, if there is one.
There are
Yeah,
not
it's
very many
not-
awnings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're not,
But it's still preview. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
they might put a bunch
They
of
might.
awnings in. There might
Right.
like,
Right. Because they're
Who
still
knows?
doing
Yeah.
surveys and all
yeah.
that stuff.
So who knows what could change. at
Right,
the time.
right.
But
what we should do is do another episode sometime, like 6 months after it opens, see
To
what
see,
changes.
yeah.
I'd be interested to.
I already
Just
got
to
my ticket
compare.
for my next visit.
Nice. There you go. There you go.
I already
So
did.
yeah, if you're not waiting to ride a ride
Yeah.
indoors, if you're not sitting to eat some food at a restaurant, then you're almost out of luck.
Very much.
Okay.
Can we talk about the restaurant?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Like, where did you guys went to the same place we did, right?
We went to Pizza Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I personally, that's where we went.
Yeah.
I should do Nintendo. I hear that's awesome.
Yeah, we
but
haven't done it.
I'm
the themed
Nintendo.
food there looks.
I'm a Nintendo fan. Anyway, the thing that I liked about it personally was because I'm used to. It's almost like you wait to find a seat, or you go up to quick service. You wait in line. You order, then you wait for your food, and then you go and try to find a seat. Like that's what I'm used to. For that place,
Yeah.
we waited in a line for a seat, and then they sat you down, and they're like, pull up your QR code. You can order. You'll scan on your table, say you're at table 236, and they'll just bring it out. So
Yep.
to me, that felt like a little vacation.
got it
I
figured
love
out.
that. I thought that was
Yeah.
genius because otherwise, I feel like you're standing so
Yep.
much. And so that was, to me, that was one of my best times. Was just
Oh, yeah.
like this is like a vacation. I'm just like sitting
mean,
here
you can't-
talking with my friends.
Yeah,
Right.
you
I
can't
really
ensure
like that.
there's a table open once you get the pizza, or
Yes.
anyway, so you
Yep.
already have the table.
Yeah.
Right.
You're relaxing, and then everything's brought to you.
I was gonna say we tried like 3 different places and we went straight to the table, ordered, got our stuff. It was a
Super
breeze.
easy.
I love that. I
Super easy.
love
I did too. They still
Yeah.
have the option where you can order at some places, like you can go wait in line, but that's the best way to do it. I mean,
It's fantastic.
so easy.
It was fantastic.
Granted, I haven't eaten at enough quick service restaurants in the Universal theme parks, but the times we have sat down to do that, it's been the same thing. So Islands of Adventure, it's been like that. I think it was like that at Universal Studios Florida.
Oh, yeah.
But that system is so ingenious. I don't know why Disney hasn't implemented it.
I love
Places
it.
need to like
It was
adopt
so much.
it. It was
It
nice.
was so much better because
Yeah.
if it was like that in more places, I think I would be more apt to use a restaurant.
Right, yeah.
Because sometimes even at those like quick service, I'm just tired of standing.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you
I
got
just wanna sit
you got
down.
mobile order, right?
So,
True.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But
that is, I guess, that's one way to think about it. But
Yeah.
I'm that person that's just going to go sit on that planter over there because I'm tired of standing. So, and that's sometimes I've done that in the parks where I'm like eating like right there
On a trash can or wherever you can find. Wherever you can find. I mean,
I didn't want to say that, but yes.
I mean,
Oh
it is
no,
what
it's,
it is.
it's done by a lot of people.
Yep.
You're not the only one.
At least they're clean.
Let's go back to Celestial Park real quick because they have really cool looking rides. I think it's called Celestial Racers.
Yeah,
the Comet.
Dual, yeah.
Yeah. Did
I
you do
forget
it?
the name of it. No, we didn't do it. You did it.
Did it.
Talk to me about the queue real quick, and then let's just jump in. Stardust Racers, excuse me.
So
Stardust Racers.
that one, they make you go through a metal detector.
Like a lot of the other roller coasters around here.
So I was like, wow, okay, because they don't want you bringing anything on.
Yeah.
That one, and they have lockers and everything, but it's a long queue. I don't think it's as long as Harry Potter's queue,
Right.
but it was a long queue.
Okay.
And there really wasn't a lot to look at yet.
Outdoors, indoors.
It was outdoors. Yeah, it was
that
all.
roller
I mean, it was
coaster,
shaded,
right?
but it was all outdoors.
It's probably the only other
So-
like outdoor shade.
Right.
probably
It was all shaded, but the ride itself was good. It's their most intense, I would easily say, because it has it. They said there's 3 launch points. I only remember 2, but
Yeah.
but it would launch you, and then later on you're going, and it launches you again, and there's inversions, and there was one point when I was kind of geeking out because I swear to you, because you're racing another, and you guys kind of intertwine around each other, and at one
Yeah.
point I was like, I swear to you, I almost high-fived another person on the other one. I was trying to, and I'm sure we were probably like way away.
apart.
I swear to you, I was like inches away from to someone on the other
Hold
Comet.
it out.
Like,
Put your hand.
yeah,
Funny.
it was cool. It was cool. It was really cool. So,
awesome.
yeah, it's a long line. I mean, all of them are long lines, you know. So, but yeah.
I think Celestial Park's probably gonna be my second favorite land.
Yeah.
But my first, and my wife knows, my first favorite land is gonna be Attleboro.
Okay.
Which
Of
is
course.
conveniently our next.
I know. Great segue.
Yeah, talk me through it. Because I want to look at photos. I've seen renderings, and I'm really excited about what's going to be in there. But I mean, the first thing I think of is it looks huge. But talk me through it. Talk us through
It's a
walking
big
into the
circle.
portal.
Yeah. It's a big circle. Is
Yeah.
what it is.
Okay.
And it's so cute. Like,
Yeah.
I loved it when I
Once
walked
you
in.
walk through the little portal, like it's a huge body of water, and then there's like all of the little houses and stuff like that. I mean, it just
Inbrook.
Yeah.
it goes up, 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 up,
The
and up and up.
detail is
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
And the little
There's a lot of
dragons
detail.
everywhere,
Lots of
like
detail.
Yeah.
fighting over fish or like snoring, and
Yeah.
like it's so cute.
The animatronics.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
And
little
they have
little
like
sheep
meet and
and
greets with dragons, like toothless
You can
coming
meet-
out.
yeah.
Yes, toothless.
So
I've
was
seen
thinking about
videos
that.
of
That was
people
cute.
meeting
Yeah.
toothless.
Yeah.
Like my wife was just showing the videos this morning.
Yeah,
It was so
adorable.
cute.
Yeah.
And then we didn't get to do the show. We waited in line twice and it got canceled.
Same. We were the
Yeah.
same.
Big show, right?
Yes.
Where
Yeah.
the dragon, or was it toothless, it flies over you.
Yeah, and I've heard it's brought
Why do you
people
know that
to
much?
tears. So
Really?
like it's
Yeah.
a really good show. If it'll just when everybody can see it, opens up. But the one ride we saw, because the coaster wasn't open when we were in the portal area, we saw Fire Drill, which is like this water ride. So imagine like
yes.
Buzz Lightyear, but water form. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, we have to do that, but we were like, we're gonna
And
get
you
soaked.
You
Yeah.
get drenched.
Yeah.
Because you have little water guns on it.
Yeah.
And you shoot each other
And
too?
yes, and
No,
if
No.
you shoot. If you
Yeah.
shoot the wrong target, then
it'll shoot you. Yeah.
Just drenches you.
Oh.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
geez,
And if
okay.
your boat's tilted too far to like one side, you'll shoot the people in the line. Like, stuff like that.
I would do that.
Yeah, right?
And then see them later on in the
fun.
park and run.
It doesn't just go through the ride track on the water.
Yeah,
Tilts.
it kind of
Tilts
tilts
back
back and
forth.
forth.
What the heck?
It looks super fun.
Yeah.
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 But
How did the queue look for that? Do you know?
Honestly, it didn't
look
look
that
huge.
big,
It was
yeah.
mostly outside.
But it's a
shaded
small.
spot.
That's a small ride. Like I think it
Right.
just kind of goes out and back, and like it's almost like a big oval.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
it's not that big. It's not that big. It's
Okay.
it's probably meant for younger audiences.
for sure.
Yeah.
So they have that, the
never
show, and then they have the coaster, right? Because you did that.
Yes, I did the coast. Well, they also had that other ride where you have flying dragons.
Oh yeah.
It's
that's
like this
the one
cantilever
around-
thing where it's
yeah.
like it's got a dragon on one side and it's got
Yes.
like 8 dragons or 10 dragons on the other side, and so it kind of goes up and down, but you're flying around in a circle. It's
like a big
and
arm,
My friend said that if like you can kind of control the dragon,
Yeah.
and they said if you're good, you can just flip and you can do like these barrel rolls.
Makes me sick.
And they said that someone.
Yes.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Oh, yeah.
But someone said that they got their dragon and they're just doing
We avoided that. When we saw it, we said
Good.
no.
barrel rolls. So.
If you have motion sickness,
Right?
Yeah.
Don't do that one.
you can go to another ride.
But the coaster there is
The
what
coaster.
it started at like 6:45 is the one that we went into line for because it didn't open till the end of the day.
Okay.
And we found out about it, so we weren't running over there, of course, because the parks were ready to be like, we're closed, and we're like, let's see if we can get in line. So
Even
we
that closing
booked it
was
over
still
there.
like what, a 45-minute wait?
Oh god, at least.
Wow.
At least. And we had an express pass to it.
So express pass.
Yeah. So it was cute. It was very cute.
Okay.
It was not intense. I would say it's a family-friendly one.
Okay.
So they had cute little theming, and you see little dragons and stuff like that on the way. It was cute. I actually liked it a lot. Like it was one of my more favorite.
Yeah.
Like I like the Comet Chaser in Celestial Park for intensity, but I don't need intensity. I like the. I don't know. I think it was more fun. It was a lot of fun. So.
What about that queue?
But Isle of Burke, that was the queue was forever. It's outside. It was all outside. That one had the ropes. When I said no leaning, because that one had the ropes. Because I can just see people leaning against these ropes and they just snap.
Yeah.
You know, it could happen.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but you know how they are about don't
Right.
lean on stuff.
For sure.
So, but it just had ropes. It was all outside, but it was shaded. It was mostly shaded, but it was just hot. You know how it goes. So, but it was long, just all those switchbacks, and you can see like the whole queue once you go in there. So it wasn't like one of those that you're like, I'm almost there, and then you turn a corner. Oh,
5 more corners.
there's like 5 more hours.
Yeah, 10 more
it wasn't like
corners
that.
later.
You can see it all. You can see it all. Got it. And Isle of Burke, I would recommend if you go back maybe again in the evening, because when we went back, it wasn't sunset, but the sun was going down, and the way it hit all of the houses and stuff like that was way more magical than the first time I went,
sure.
when it was full sun.
Yeah.
The sun was just coming down, and it's just boom, right on all of those houses,
Yeah.
and it was like, I was like, oh, I want to picture this. So next time I go back, I'm going to go back again in the evening. So
Yeah.
just more walking. Just more. Got to go back again.
It almost,
And then hit Nintendo again.
it almost even sounds like most of the lands are like, oh, we gotta check it out again in the evening. And there's only so much you
Yeah.
can check out again in the evening. You're
Right.
just there for a day, right? You're
Right.
gonna have to do a second
It's
day.
gonna have to be like a 2-day park.
Yeah,
Like,
it is
you know,
a 2-day park.
Wow.
Yeah, because we really, we didn't ride much, obviously, but we were taking everything in. Like we were looking at all the detail, the food places, just listening to like the interesting facts her brother was telling us and things like that. And just, we took our time. But if we were having to wait in lines like we did for the minecart man, we wouldn't have got to, maybe would have done 2 lands. That was it. 2
Yeah.
portals, whatever you want to call it, universes.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And I can imagine like so many people are gonna be experiencing Epic Universe for the first time.
Right.
And just talking through everything we've talked about so far with how much detail there is, especially with Super Nintendo Land, like it almost seems like there's a lot of not stimulation like overload, but then you're taking everything in and it's a lot to think about and it's a lot to realize like what you're thinking about. I'm thinking like mental fatigue.
Yeah.
You know, especially
yeah.
towards the end of the day. You're trying to take everything in. You're trying to plan your day. You're trying to figure out which show to go to. You're trying to figure out what's your next ride.
Right.
On top of that, you're walking in the heat, in the sun. There's not much shade.
Yep.
Like towards the end of the day, you know, how much would mental fatigue affect you physically at the end?
Right. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It also depends on who you're with, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
And how they're doing.
Whether or not you're with like kiddos or with like hard to deal with family members.
Right.
Yes.
Like I said, we got back to the car
Yes.
and I don't think we said 2 words.
Really? I was still pumped.
We were exhausted.
Yeah.
We were there less than you, but we were just like, whoa, like what did we just
lot.
It's just a lot to digest.
I felt like the day went by super fast.
It did go by.
And I only saw like half the attractions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, where'd the time go? Yeah. It went by quick. It went
It
by
was
quick.
really fast.
Knowing what
Yeah.
you know now about the park, is it something that you would try and like plan out, ride by ride kind of thing? Or is it something that where you'd be like, oh, I've been there once. I know I want to hit a couple things. Let's just hit those and then kind of see where we go from there.
Right.
Because like Disney
I would
World,
prioritize.
you prioritize.
Yeah, I mean, just like with Disney and stuff like that,
Okay.
Yeah.
you got to prioritize what are your absolute must-sees. Look it up, do your research. There's a lot of people who have gone before you,
Right.
and they can recommend, what you should see. And then, like if you want to see a show, obviously that's going to have to be dropped in there somewhere. So if you're going to see a show, maybe in the show's in an hour, maybe not get in a 6-hour Harry Potter line.
Right.
If you want to see that next up. So there is a lot of planning that you're going to have to do.
Yeah.
To get the most out of it,
Right.
So, and you're going to be doing that ping pong and around. You're not going to be able to just do this land and then that land,
Yeah.
and that would be nice, but it's not happening.
Right.
That's not happening.
Because it's
So,
just, with the wait times and
Yeah.
like if one land's a little more crowded at one time than the other, it's like, well, if we just bounce over here, we can do this really quick and then come back and then just.
And then there are a lot of those things that are going to keep you there, like Harry Potter. You have all the magic wand.
yeah.
There's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
to do there. Nintendo, if you get the power bracelet,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff to do there.
Yeah.
with that.
We
There's
spent a
actually
lot of time doing
to
those
it.
mini games too.
There's actually a lot
Yeah.
in there. Yeah.
Just another aspect of
So-
Epic Universe that's going to make you want to go back, 2 more times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. I can imagine that Epic is going to be, it's going to be part of a 3 or a 4-day vacation where, people are going to go to Disney World for a couple days and then go to Universal for a couple days. Let's talk day 3 burnout. You know what I mean? You do a couple days here, you do a couple days there, and then you go to Epic Universe. What's one strategy? Let's just talk one strategy each person or something like that. One strategy that you would advise guests to make sure that you can avoid that day 3 burnout.
I think for me, like if I'm going that many days in a row, take a day, do like a pool day or something. Go to a water park, cool off, relax, maybe go to Disney Springs that night or City Walk, just chill for a day
Yeah.
and then revisit the park. I don't know. That always works for me, just having a day or an afternoon, evening just off.
Rest days are huge.
Yes.
They're
yeah.
huge. Even rest hours.
Yeah, for
Take 3 to
sure.
4 hours out of the day.
Yeah.
Go back to your resort. Go to Disney
Absolutely.
Springs.
If you're close, go to the hotel for an
Yeah.
hour or two, drink some water, do a stretch,
Yeah.
sleep,
Yeah.
and then come back. So we've had to do that before. We did it when we were out in California, which that's way smaller Disneyland and stuff, but we still did it just because it was so hot in the middle
Right.
of the day. It just gets exhausting. So,
I think hydration
yeah.
would be a big one, especially during the summer. Florida sun, you're gonna
Yeah.
lose all your liquids. So just make sure you're staying hydrated. Hopefully that helps that burnout on that 3rd day.
Yeah, for sure. I was talking with my good friend, Dr. Emily Bohan, on episode 6 of the podcast.
Yeah.
She had mentioned drinking at least half your body weight in ounces of water. And that's on a normal day. So imagine being out there in the heat, right?
Sweating it all out. Yeah.
And if you wanted to do the calculations, it's like 150 ounces for guys,
Yeah.
100 ounces for girls.
Yeah.
That's in the heat.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
It's crazy.
You need to drink
Yeah.
a lot more water than you
Oh,
think.
for sure.
For sure.
One of the things I like to do if I'm going to be in the park a lot is, those little like Propel. I get something like that because
Electrolyte mix kind of thing.
yeah. Personally, with me, I drink more if it's flavored. So, and I don't care if it's cold or not. I mean, you can get it cold. You can get ice free. They have those. What are those vending machines? Those Freestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have those all. So you can just fill up. If you have a wide mouth bottle or something like that, you can just fill that up with ice and to put some of that Propel or something in there.
That's yours.
That's mine. Yeah.
I'm part of the small water bottle club.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not used enough. And I have my wife to think about this because she started it, and I was like, why would you do that? It's so small. There's not much to put in there. It's not going to last long. Then I realized, like, if you're walking around in the parks all day, the less weight you're carrying, the better.
It's true.
And knowing where the water refill stations are is huge. It's a game changer. So you bring a 12-ounce water bottle, you just refill wherever you go, and you're set.
Personally, with this, I put this in my back pocket.
There you go.
Like it fits in my back pocket as long as you got a tight belt or something. It fits in my pocket, so I'm not even carrying it. Some of them have like a little carabiner, and you can hook it onto your So I do stuff like that. So, but having the flavored water, it encourages me to drink more.
I like that.
You know, and I think with the electrolytes, that's going to help as well. I usually bring a snack with me too.
Yeah.
Because when you're in the 6-hour Harry Potter line, you're bound to get hungry and hangry.
More power to those
And then that mental
individuals.
fatigue as your whole family's getting,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Did we talk water refill stations? Are there a bunch around Epic?
Every bathroom.
Every bad. And not just a water fountain, but a water refill station.
Yep.
They hit for the bottle.
Yep. And they've
For the
got plenty
bottle.
of those
Yeah.
freestyle.
Yeah,
things.
that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's chilled water too.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
refill station isn't.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. That's
Right.
good to know.
Any restaurant has those. Yeah,
We filled
the
up the
freestyle.
water bottle like 30 million times. While
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
were
'cause
there on
those are
that
always free for
Yeah.
water and ice. So you
Yes.
just, as long as you got a wide mouth bottle.
all day.
I have to admit, there's a couple parks at Disney World that don't have enough water refill stations. It's really nice to have the Coca-Cola freestyle
Yeah.
fountains out there.
Right.
The refills.
Right.
Very nice.
Taking your time and pacing yourself too instead of rushing. I feel like we get the privilege of living around here, so we're not like rushing to different rides, rushing to different because we
Speak
got
for
to do
yourself.
all this. Well, we don't feel that. We're like, okay, we're going to see what we need to see. We'll come back and do what we need to do. Let's try to do this and this for today instead of running to 8 different
Oh no, I want to
rides.
see everything.
And you're local too. That's the fun.
I want to see. Oh no, I want to see everything.
Yeah.
But
I wanna
there's two
see
kinds
everything.
of people.
Clearly there are.
Yes. I do not
more.
want to miss a thing. I want to see all of it. I was bopping into shops and apparently not the restrooms because I didn't see all the themes in all the restrooms. But probably wasn't drinking enough.
You saw what we did. We went in the restrooms, the restaurants. We were looking at every park.
I actually didn't use my strategy. I did not have any like Propeller or
Yeah.
Gatorade or anything like that flavor. So I probably wasn't drinking enough. And I was probably,
We
not
were
hydrated enough.
moseying, looking around.
But that's also the problem. If you drink a lot of water, now you're in a 6-hour.
Well, we went in every restroom because we refilled.
But what if
30
you're in a long line and you have to go to the bathroom?
They're gonna have to do something about that.
I mean, I know a lot of people like save my spot, or like one person will
Right.
go out and then they have to come back through 100,000 people
Right,
and get dirty
right.
looks as they're.
Yeah.
I had to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you gotta stay hydrated. So
Yeah.
It's the conundrum.
Yep.
We briefly talked about the carousel earlier and how it sounds like it's kind of ADA compliant. Any other comments on ADA compliance, especially for people with mobility issues?
Right.
You know, because I can imagine it's nice that there are wide walkways, right?
Very.
That's on an ECD, right? What else? What else is there?
I would say Super Mario World. That one's hard because you go up.
There's
and
an
then
elevator right there.
There is an elevator.
As soon as you get in, though, there's stairs, but there is around. You
Okay.
can go around, but you don't get the whole like tunnel
Yeah.
experience.
So they make
That's
it
true.
accessible,
Yeah.
but at
it's not quite the
at a
same
cost.
reveal.
Yeah.
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 I don't know if most of the rides though are very ADA compliant. Like I'm trying to think, because I don't think Minecart Madness. I don't see how a wheelchair would be able to be hooked into there. Somebody transferring to that would be a pretty hard
It
transfer
was-
to
yeah.
do like a scoot over to that, because you kind of have to step down into it. You know.
You'd have to be able to
Yeah.
do some sort of transfer without
Right.
much assistance.
Right.
Okay. Are there any other rides out at Epic that can accommodate getting a higher wheelchair in? Because you know how like Tron, for example, in Magic Kingdom,
Right.
that's one of the cars you can get a whole wheelchair in, right?
I
Right.
bet you could with Mario Kart.
Okay.
I didn't see anything, but the way those vehicles are set up, I bet they could do that. I don't know if they did, but I bet you could.
Right.
I don't think you could on Yoshi.
I don't think so either.
That one's very small.
Yeah.
Like a wheelchair would probably take up the whole,
whole thing.
Yoshi. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be like riding by yourself.
I'm trying to think if that boat ride, I don't know if they
Yeah,
have
Isle of
room on the end. Yeah, the fire drill one. If they had room on the end, like that
I
would
didn't
be hard.
see any of the carts that had.
Yeah.
You know what we should do is all plan a day where we all go to Epic together.
Yeah.
and look for that.
We could rent wheelchairs and try.
Make a little short video. on that.
I'm going in 2 months again, so
Maybe we gotta
give
figure out.
me something to research. I'll do it.
I got you.
I'm serious.
Any last bits of advice
No.
that you want to give to our listeners about Epic?
Yeah.
Good shoes, hydrate, sunscreen.
Light backpack.
Yes.
The sunscreen,
Those are the
yes.
biggest thing. Yeah.
Sunscreen.
Reapply.
At least 80 minutes, 89 minutes reapply for sure. Especially between 10 and 3, between 10 and 4,
Yep.
when it's the hottest time of the day.
Yeah. Yep.
When-
We carried that with us.
The least amount of exposure.
Yes.
Yeah. Terrain. Can we talk terrain? Because like parks like Studios or Epcot, relatively flat. A park like Animal Kingdom, a little bit more
Yeah.
like almost like a walking trail, because that's how Imagineers designed the park,
Yeah.
right? What about Epic? Anything like that, or is
I mean,
it mostly-
Celestial does, because you have to
Yeah.
start at the top. And it's almost like you work your way.
A slight slope.
It doesn't
Slightly.
feel,
Okay.
it doesn't feel like it's
Yeah.
like, whoa, you know.
And it's all one, like there's no like curbs. I don't ever, like there's a few stairs, but they've got the ramps.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was curbs in Harry Potter.
Yes.
Like you're walking through the streets of Paris.
Cobblestones,
Yeah,
That
but
kind of
that was
stuff.
the only one.
Alaberg has like small slopes too to go up,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's nothing
Nuts.
crazy.
Yeah,
Nintendo, we said the elevator and the stairs.
because it has levels, yeah.
But other than that, that's it. And then Dark Universe is all one, and
Yeah.
it was flat
Yeah.
the whole way. There's
Yeah.
no anything.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then,
So.
other than that, like Super Nintendo,
Yeah.
stairs there, but then also you can go around, like you said.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it. I thought this was a really cool conversation to have.
For sure.
And you're just giving me more to look forward to when we go to check out the park ourselves. That concludes my conversation with Nate, Jamie, and Rachel on what you can expect when you visit Universal's Epic Universe. That was a lot of information to take in. So here are 4 key takeaways that you can learn when you're planning your trip out to Universal's Epic Universe. Key takeaway number 1, expect to walk a lot. Rachel had mentioned how over the course of a 9-hour day in the parks, she had walked at least 20,000 steps. Now, considering that Epic Universe is around 80 acres, that's a lot of walking in a small area. Now, of course, we can expect Universal's Epic Universe to expand. They already have plans for expansion, so there's going to be even more area to walk. However, one major factor that affected how much you walk is the fact that there is a central hub in Epic Universe that is called Celestial Park, and it connects to the different portals that go into the different lands at Epic. However, there's no walkway connecting any sort of land that is next to each other. So if you wanted to walk from one land to the next, you'd have to walk out through the same portal that you entered into Celestial Park, and then go transfer into the next portal into the land that you want to go next. So as you can imagine, if you wanted to ride one attraction in one land and then another attraction in a different land, you'd have to ping pong between lands to get where you want to go. That adds up a lot of steps at the end of the day. On top of that, there is a very large parking lot to get from your car to Epic Universe. It's estimated to be about 150 acres, meaning that wherever you park, you're going to be walking quite a bit to get from your car to Epic. And then to add on top of that, Jamie had mentioned how the Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry, which was not open at the time that they were previewing Epic, was one of the longest ride queues they had ever seen at a Universal theme park. They even said it was longer than the ride queue for Flight of Passage over in Pandora and Animal Kingdom. Key takeaway number 2. Mental fatigue is going to be so real at Epic, especially for first-time visitors. Epic Universe is a completely new theme park built by Universal Studios with 5 different lands. There is going to be a ton of detail, especially when you're going to visit Super Nintendo Land, as you heard by what Nate was talking about. In fact, there's going to be so much detail that you're going to be looking around that you will not realize how much you're going to be walking at the end of the day. Nate, Jamie, and Rachel all agreed that this is more than a 1-day park. It's definitely going to be a 2, maybe even a 3-day park. So Mental fatigue is very real in that because there's so much detail to take in, it can take a toll on you physically because there's going to be a lot of figuring out what you're going to do, where you're going to go, all the details that you're going to be noticing, just a lot going on in terms of decision making, noticing things. On top of that, you're walking a lot in the heat. It all adds up. So in order to avoid that day 3 burnout, Jamie, Rachel, and Nate mention making sure that you take a rest day or a long rest break when you're visiting, making sure that you stay hydrated and utilizing all of the water refill stations and Coca-Cola Freestyle stations around the park. And then, of course, bringing snacks to make sure you're topped up on energy. And then finally, making sure you're taking your time and prioritizing what you're going to see, check out, and ride. Make sure you set your expectations because Epic Universe is not going to be a one-day park. Don't expect to be able to do everything at that park. Key takeaway number 3. Epic Universe as it stands right now gives you a lot of exposure to the sun and the heat, especially in the spring and summer months. As we discussed in our conversation, the horticulture, while there is a lot there and there's quite a bit of horticulture that fits the theming perfectly for some of those lands, it is still young, meaning it's small. There's not much shade to give you that cool area to relax and take a break in. On top of that, there's quite a number of rides that do have outdoor queues. Some of them have outdoor queues mixed in with indoor queues, and then other rides like the roller coaster at Celestial Park, I think, is completely outdoors, but somewhat shaded. So be careful where you're going to be expecting to stand when you're waiting for a ride. Make sure that you're topped up on water. You're applying sunblock every 80 to 90 minutes. You're wearing a hat. You're doing all the things to make sure that you don't lose so much energy by being exposed to the sun for so long. Key takeaway number 4. Universal's Epic Universe is actually pretty progressive when it comes to its accessibility for guests with disabilities. Some rides provide an alternate escort entrance to help guests enter the ride. Every staircase has an elevator or a ramp to use as an alternative. So what that means is, for example, we had talked in our conversation about how to enter Super Nintendo Land. You have to go up a set of stairs into the portal because the land itself is, I think, 3 stories. However, there is an elevator and a walkway to go around so that you could still enter. Yes, you will be losing some of the story elements that go along with going up and down the stairs. However, having those separate entrances still makes it available for those with mobility deficits to have a good experience at Epic Universe. I have read that although some hallways seem narrow when walking through, they are still ADA compliant, meaning that a standard wheelchair will still fit to go through. And there are a few rides that I found by doing some very scientific research on Reddit to help be more ADA compliant for guests with disabilities. In the list of rides includes Monsters Unchained and Minecart Madness that have dedicated secondary platforms to load and unload guests. Curse of the Werewolf has a dedicated ADA car with a horizontal transfer platform. Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge has elevators to its load platform and a dedicated wheelchair ride vehicle. Hiccup's Wing Gliders has the ability to load without going up its stairs. Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry has elevators to make sure that those using a scooter or a wheelchair is able to get up onto the load platform. And then Yoshi's Adventure can slow or completely stop if needed. If you know of any other ADA compliant rides or features at Epic Universe, make sure to leave a comment or shoot an email to me at steven.kabibi@gmail.com, and I'll make sure to include that in the show notes. All right, that's it for today's episode. Now I want to turn it over to you. What are you most excited for when it comes to Universal's Epic Universe? Let me know in the comments. If you love what you hear and you want to learn more, I encourage you to head over to forthemagic.com, where you'll find your free guide, 10 mistakes Disney guests make that result in a painful trip and how to avoid them. And if you enjoy this episode, please make sure to share it with anyone that might benefit from it. And of course, please leave a rating or review in your favorite podcast app if you enjoyed the show. This helps me tremendously as I move forward with new episodes to come. I hope you'll tune in to learn more about how to have a pain-free, soreness-free, exhaustion-free vacation so that you can make magical memories with your loved ones.